If you're someone who has a big gap between waking up and eating breakfast, protein coffee could be a good idea. We all have a cortisol spike around half an hour after waking, and it is normal. It's our body's natural alarm clock, but women are particularly sensitive to it. Getting a bit of food into your system tells your brain, here's some nutrients, no need to keep my hunger hormones elevated, no need to burn through my muscles for fuel, no need to store fat. Also, if you're someone who doesn't like eating first thing, breakfast in liquid form might be manageable for you. It takes less than 5 minutes to make, and I'll show you a few variations. This is a cold drink made with protein powder, coffee and milk. Ideally have it within half an hour of waking up. If you're really short on time, you could prepare it the night before and pop it into the fridge. I use 15 grams of soy protein powder, which contains about 13 grams of protein. It's roughly 3 tablespoons. If this was my only breakfast, I'd probably add more, but I have cereal a few hours later. 1 heaped teaspoon of espresso powder, then add a small amount of milk. I add about 200 ml in total, or just shy of 1 cup, but you don't want to add it all at once or you'll end up with lumps. If you use a glass, you can see if you've got any clumps at the bottom, and I love the base of this one. It's curved rather than flat, so it makes mixing easier. This is just like mixing gravy granules. Add a tiny bit of milk, mix, squash any lumps, repeat. For a super smooth drink, mix in 1 mug, then sieve into another. Or use a small whisk, which works really well to get the lumps out and doesn't create more washing up. If you're using traditional espresso rather than instant coffee, mix the protein powder and milk first, then add the shot last. Protein powder doesn't always mix well with hot liquids. I go into more detail on each ingredient later in the video, and I'll add chapters for easy navigation. Occasionally I'll make a mocha protein coffee. It's the same as before, but with a teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder, a bit of cinnamon and some date puree. If you're not a coffee person, Dr Sims suggests matcha, and it works really well in place of coffee. Mix 15 grams of protein powder with 1 heaped teaspoon of matcha. Add a little something for sweetness and whatever milk you like. A small thing though, I find matcha really difficult to mix. I have to use a sieve to get all of the lumps out. Whey is a popular option, and it is often vanilla flavoured. It tends to mix well, especially if it's got emulsifiers in it. If that's what you have, feel free to skip ahead to the next chapter. I haven't tried whey. I do eat dairy, but only a bit, so I go for pea or soy protein powders, and they are good options if you're vegan. Whey and soy are considered complete proteins, meaning that they contain all of the amino acids. Pea protein is almost there, but you would need to combine it with rice to get the complete profile. It is still a good choice though. So nothing against whey, but the flavoured options can have quite a lot of ingredients, like sweeteners or thickeners. Unflavoured pea and soy are single ingredient powders. I love pea protein, and I have it in my breakfast, where there's fruit, bran flakes, yoghurt and nuts. They disguise the taste of the pea protein because it does have an earthy taste. Now, I have made protein coffee with it by accident. I was still dozy and picked up the wrong powder. I only realised after I added the coffee. It's funny how you always realise the second after you've mixed them and you can't undo it. And I thought, this is going to need some help. So I added cocoa and date puree, basically turning it into a mocha. And it was nice, but soy is my favourite. I bought a small pack from Holland & Barrett because I didn't know what to expect, and I was really impressed with it. It blends fairly well, but more importantly, the flavour is completely neutral. Now, another caveat, I bought pulsin, and then I ordered a different organic soy protein from Buy Whole Foods online. I am a big fan of theirs, but when I made a protein coffee with their powder, I thought something had gone off, maybe the milk. I was like, what's wrong with this? And then I realised that it's the powder. Both powders are from China, but this one has a distinct taste. So I use it in my breakfast or in a smoothie where there are other ingredients to help it out. For the coffee, I use Percol espresso powder because it dissolves in cold water. It can be tricky to find, and I will put some links in the description. I get mine from Ocado, and I think you can get it from Morrison's too. If you've got instant coffee, maybe mix it with boiled water because I don't think it dissolves as well in cold water. Future Tanya here. This is me dissolving Dow Egberts in both cold and hot water, and I was talking nonsense. It dissolves beautifully. If anything, the cold fared better than the hot. We've got an espresso machine and that would probably be the best choice really, but I don't know how it works and it is too much effort to use just after waking up. I've tried a few milks. It is personal preference really. Sometimes I buy organic and the ingredients list is really short because organic milks aren't allowed to be fortified with anything. But I buy non-organic too. What I have noticed is the milks with a higher carb content taste naturally sweet. So take this Rude Health almond milk. I am not sponsored by the way. I shop with Ocado and they've got a good deal on at the moment, 4 for £8. I bought this one by accident. I thought it was just almond milk, but it's got rice in it too. And this roasted almond has oats. The difference in taste between these and the plain almond is surprising. I will pop the carb contents on the screen so you can see. If I use the plain one, I'll add a tiny bit of sweetness. That could be honey, maple syrup or sugar. I tend to go for date puree. I discovered it after making one of Joe and the Juice's protein shakes and I am obsessed. I made a video on that shake, but just use whatever you have. I initially wrote off protein coffee because I thought, I eat a good breakfast, I don't need it. But then I realised that I usually eat about 2 to 3 hours after waking up. So I started making it and I've not looked back. It's difficult to quantify the benefits because I've made other changes recently, like increasing my protein overall. I've noticed that I now wake up hungry, my energy levels at the gym have improved, and I'm lifting heavier weights. Finally! I do think protein coffee has contributed to that. I also really enjoy it. I look forward to it every morning. Now, when I made one for Cole, he tasted it and said, tastes like a health drink. It's nice though. And when I made one for my mum, she said, bearable, it's nice. So you'll need to experiment with the protein powders and milks really. There are so many options. I cannot recommend Dr. Sims' YouTube channel enough. I'll link to some of her interviews that inspired me in the description. And do subscribe here for more recipes. I will pop the breakfast that I mentioned earlier on screen now. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's got loads of protein and fibre. Do take a look and thanks for watching.
Oops. Oh,